So I was watching Gone Rogue Games. It was a couple of weeks ago. He made a video about his very low allocations for, was it Journey Together? Yeah, it was probably Journey Together. And he thought he'd get better allocations. Not exactly what he ordered, obviously, because no one gets that. But he thought that he'd been spending a certain amount of money for a couple years and buying the specific things in a downturn in the market, like the smaller things that nobody wants, especially during that time. And then he was building his allocations with his distributors, and it kind of threw him for a loop that his allocations were much lower than expected. And he mentioned that he felt embarrassed about that because he's got this Patreon subscription club that he has made certain promises to, right? And obviously they understand or should understand that it just is what it is. But, you know, he wants to do a good job and fulfill things for the people that, have backed him. So making this video to say, oh, I fully understand, because in January, when my allocation for prismatic evolutions was 0, after having ordered the same number of stuff for Pokemon for about 2 years, not to the degree of Gone Rogue Games, and I didn't order all those little things because Gone Rogue Games have been talking about that, and Rudy have been talking about that's the kind of stuff that builds your allocations, but I wasn't aware of how bad it could get at the distribution level, because prior to that I had no connection to distribution when things were going hot for Pokemon in 2021. So I only vaguely recall that, and I should have paid more attention. I should have done it, and that's why my allocations were 0. But then, you know, as a store owner and you're carrying Pokemon, you're carrying Magic, and then suddenly you have no access to Pokemon, and people come in and they expect you to be a card store and to have cards, but you don't have it for them, and now you feel like you just haven't done your job, basically. And there's no real reason for it. So that's all I'm saying, is that I understand where Kevin is coming from. And this is another Kevin at Brackenberries. So, you know, I guess we're kind of connected in that way. And I think that there's no real reason for this feeling. It's just probably just a archaic biological response, because really all we're doing is we're moving a bunch of cardboard. And if we can't get the cardboard that people want, that's just an unfortunate thing that happens. And I think, you know, there's ways of maybe changing the way we do business, but a lot of this stuff is out of our control. So there's really no reason to have these negative feelings associated with it. And of course, this kind of video, maybe a person involved in Pokemon who isn't a store owner has no connection to this at all. But I mean, you know, the people that are looking for Pokemon and can't get any right now, they have their own, I guess, bad feelings associated with it. So we're all in the same boat together. That's all I'm saying. And now I want to know what Matt thinks about that.
Well, yeah, I think partly like Rudy said, like everyone's emotional because everybody cares. Everybody has some sort of investment in the hobby, and that disconnect from some Pokemon customers, usually older ones. Yeah, that's, you can, they can keep their feelings to themselves for the most part, because unless they're a little kid that's missing out on sets for no reason, then they don't have my sympathies overly. But it's nothing to be embarrassed about either. It would be kind of shocking to not ever have Magic again, or to never get Pokemon again. I could have that, that's fear. I could see people having that fear. But yeah, I think things will cool down eventually, and things will pick up from there. So yeah, there's just hold out, just diamond hands it.
So how do we feel about the very low allocations for Final Fantasy?
Yeah, that's it's just frustrating because so many people that's a little frustrating just because of how many people are actually excited about that are actually long-term customers. Like, we don't have we don't have a lot of people coming out of the woodwork that we've never seen before asking about Final Fantasy and stuff, and that would give us like a little bit of added pressure, I guess, like thinking that we're like have some sort of financial FOMO. We're not, you know, we're not making any money off that. But I mostly just feel for the people that have come here since day one. Like
Yeah.
those are the only people that matter, and they're the only people that should matter for every game store. Are the regulars, the people that are here every Friday. Like those are the people I feel for, and that's about it. Like
Yeah.
I just share their frustrations because, you know, like we have a patron or like a customer who's got his son into Magic, and they play every Friday night, and he's missing out. He might be missing out on, you know, a lot of this Final Fantasy set, and he's been waiting, you know, potentially 20 years for something like this. So those are the people that matter, not the people that you see one week that are, you know, complaining about no Pokemon, and then you never see them again until there's another wave of Pokemon, and they try to, you know, yeah.
And the amount of people calling us about Pokemon.
Yeah, a lot of people calling and stuff. Yeah, that's they're just. It's kind of like, you know, sometimes it feels like vultures coming around carcass.
But they're also judging us at the same time when they call us and we say we don't have any.
Yeah, and if they're not a child, I don't particularly care if they get their Pokemon or not.
That's why our policy is the minute we get any Pokemon, it goes behind the desk for some kids.
Yeah, it shouldn't be $15 packs, and everybody should at least get, you know, a fair share of, like, if a booster pack, if one town gets one booster pack, and this town is, you know, 40,000 people, and we're the only booster pack in this town, we will limit that to 3 people. Like, that's a fair, like 3 packs per person, you know what I mean? Like, that should be a fair thing, you know. That's, you know, taking the whole community into perspective when you buy a booster box set like that. It's like water at a time of drought.
Yeah. And people hoarding toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to add?
No.
All right. Have a good day, guys.